What is up? Welcome to the NBA Rundown, brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm your host, Spread Astaire, joined today by Tyler Hicks and AP. And AP, from a betting side, man, some of these late scratches really, made me want to just ball it up and throw it out the window. But from a daily fantasy side, today is wild. What do you think of all the news that we've gotten since I've woken up?
Yeah, it's been crazy, and I think 'cause I'm not just going to say I think at Rum Pier we do a good job at leading people in the right direction. We've seen that this week. A lot of these slates are about like people. All the news hits, and they're like, "Oh, I got to jam in this game. I got to jam in this game," and the studs like go like forgotten. Like you're going to be able to jam in 2, 3 studs tonight, fill in with some of these elite values. Now you're going to have to fade some really strong mid tier plays like so like a Theo Maladon is a good example. He is 6.8K. I am 100% okay fading him, getting some of this like punt 3K value so I can get Jokic. Like Jokic is the best play on the slate. We're going to talk about that, but it's like people overlook it all the time. And so I think there's a really big edge to NBA right now. It's a lot of work. It's like, we were talking spread before we started the show, had the playbook completed, and then the Bucks go and decide to rest everyone. And so then you got to, rewrite up a game and redo everything. But that's how the edge is found. And I like this point of the season.
All right. Yeah, definitely some edges to be have. But Tyler, before I go into lamenting all the injury news we have today, it looks like reminds me of back in December, right? I mean, I think my RAM's running out here on my computer, just pulling up the injury report. We got to talk about last night, and I was getting you all week, right? We were head to head all week. I was getting you. You got me last night, and it's one of those games. Okay, I lost my bet, right? Pretty disappointing, but it was just so fun watching the game. I couldn't really be that mad. What a wonderful game we got again with the Nets playing the Bucks. And I mean, other than Bruce Brown making that stupid foul, like, why did you push Giannis? You're up by 4 with less than a minute to go. We're gonna win the game, but that's what happens out there. Giannis once again proving, he's sneaking into that MVP conversation now, and rightfully so with those two big high-profile wins. What were your takeaway from the Bucks versus the Nets, Tyler?
I mean, it looks similar to some of the games we've seen last year in the playoffs and in the regular season between those two. It looks like kind of like one of the teams are going to take it, and you blink, and here comes the other team. The game was in overtime before you knew it, and the Bucks had the lead with a second left. KD took that same shot from the same place.
I thought it was going in.
I thought last year's was going in too, and that one didn't even touch the rim. This one at least rimmed out.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was definitely a good game. I really hope we get that series again in the playoffs.
AP, what were your takeaways?
What
were your takeaways from the Bucks Nets?
Oh man, it was a great game. Great game. I think it's if we get that series, it's going to be another phenomenal one. What do you guys think about the call with Chris Middleton? With the ejection and everything. Agree with it? Disagree?
That's kind of weird, right?
He trailed the play the whole way. Didn't really go for the ball. Just kind of reached up and pulled down. He also kind of hooked him on the way up and then pulled down. So you're bringing all his momentum down. So I kind of understand it. Plus, if you're the ref and you're sitting there looking at it on the screen 4 or 5 times, it starts to look worse every time. So they're probably like,
good point. Good point.
If it was the playoffs, though, I think I would have been a little more upset. I was fine with them doing that for a regular season game. All right, and I said I wasn't going to regret the bet, Greg, but I'll let you take your victory lap. He says, why did I bet the Nets and why did I bet the Clippers? That's what he said that I would be saying.
Hey, it took a 50 piece to beat us in the second one out of DeMar, so I'll take my L there.
What was that meltdown? Unbelievable. That was the one that really tilted me. But that was a great game last night. And hey, nice for the Bulls to get a win. I thought the Clippers had it, man. What were they, about 16 in the third? I mean, I already chalked that up as a victory in my mind. And I'm sitting there watching like, oh, I can't believe this. But hey, props to you, Greg Russo. I can say all that I want about, I was on the right side, but if I go down to my local Rayleigh's or my local Safeway, they don't take the right side for my groceries. So you got the money and you're able to spend it. Congratulations to you. Anything more on last night's games, guys, before we jump into tonight?
No, that's it for me.
Yeah, for me.
It was a fun night, and tennis was great last night too. I had so much fun watching sports. If I would only won a couple more bets, it would have been even better. But it's time to get back on the winning track tonight, the Dallas Mavericks, minus 7.5 in Washington, taking on the Wizards, plus 7.5. Wizards, I think, won 3 of their last 4. I'll double check that. A total of 217 plus 270 for the Wizards on the money line. And of course, man, it feels like COVID again. We got to check this injury report here. Trey Burke's out, Theo Pinson's out, Kuzma's still out, Dinwiddie's back, and Frankie Nicotine's back. Sterling Brown's still out for Dallas. Tyler, let's start with you. Dallas, pass that key number of 7 on the road. How do you approach it?
Dallas or pass for me. I'm not running to bet Washington here. You get the revenge game on both sides. You get Dinwiddie, you get Porzingis.
Oh, yeah, good point.
But the thing I'm worried about, spread, with the Porzingis one is all Luka heard while he was there is he needs him for help.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think he's going to just drop like a 40-piece on him tonight
and
just give it to him? So I think Dallas smacks him around tonight. I like Luka's points plus assists at 37.5 because he could clear that in just points. He gives us 30 points. He should be getting as close to double-digit assists. So he should clear that 37.5. I like his double-double and win, 30-plus points and win, 35-plus and win, and even the 5+ threes and win because he's been shooting a ton of threes.
All right, AP. Tyler sounds like he's all in on Luka tonight. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I love it because, like, all I've heard, I mean, not all day, but I've heard in Discord, Dinwiddie, revenge and different things. But Dinwiddie doesn't give a shit about the Wizards. Like, yeah, I mean, that's not his revenge spot. I love the Luka angle, though. I mean, I agree with Tyler. I kind of locked arm in arms with him. I think Luka has a big night. And this is what I'm talking about, the stud and dud approach tonight. Luka's projecting to be lower owned because Dinwiddie's back, which has hurt his ceiling DFS-wise, but I just love the narrative there. I think, and Luka back-to-back 70-plus DK point games, I think he's going to drop another big one in an easy spot. Give me the Mavericks as well as a lean. No way I'm taking the Wizards here, and I think Luka has a big game.
Is this a spot for one of your patented Friday night overs with a total of 217?
Yeah. Some of these teams that are shipping it in, they're not really playing defense. And so more of an offensive game. And we've seen the Mavs play with some pace too, or kind of just play with, their opponent. So I definitely wouldn't bet the under here. Slight lean towards the over as well.
All right. Yeah, I was thinking that as well. You know what? Why the Mavericks pace is so slow? I think that Luka does an excellent job of slowing things down in the second half with the lead. Whenever they got the lead, when he gets the rebound or gets the ball, you can just see him, with his hands. Hey guys, calm down. So, I think that leads to their pace. But when they get out and running, this team can do it with the best of them. So, we got an interesting spot. And, that's kind of be the theme for this evening. We got a lot of playoff teams going against non-playoff teams, laying a large number, like we do here in Orlando. Where the Magic host the Toronto Raptors. Magic plus 11 at home, 217, same total as the last game, plus 465 here for Orlando. Orlando, they had, Orlando and Detroit both did this. They had these nice little spurts out of the All-Star break. Now they're kind of, regressing to the mean, so to speak. And then, of course, Toronto has been playing absolutely fabulous since the return of OG Anunoby. He's like the key that kind of unlocks that team. And I think it's because now you have the 3 big wings, right, with Siakam, Barnes, and Anunoby. They can just switch so easily, and there's no matchup for you really to hunt out there on the floor. All of them even provide like a modicum of rim protection as well. I say Anunoby's is the worst, but Barnes and Siakam can both rotate down low and contest at the rim. So what a wonderful defense that Nick Nurse has built here. Toronto's, a team that, could upset some people in the first round of the playoffs, even though they will be on the lower half of the bracket. Tyler, they're laying 11 in Orlando. Feels like you're going to say the same thing. Is it favorite or pass here?
Favorite or pass? I'm not betting on these tanking teams, spread.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they cover some of these late games in the year, but I'm not going to try and pinpoint which ones. So I'm just going to side with the Raptors winning. They've been getting killed by point guards over the last 30 days, 24 points, 4 threes, 8 assists per game. And centers, 25 points, 15 rebounds. Siakam's going to have a good game. Fred VanVleet should have a good one. You could do Fred VanVleet 20+, 25+ and win 4+ threes because he's another guy that just chucks them. Siakam double and win, 25+ and win. And I would even do Siakam's points plus rebounds right around 31.5. But that's my way of approaching this game. No way I'm betting on Orlando.
Yeah, lay it or don't play it, like they like they taught me a while ago. When you like the favorite here. Now, AP, when you come to DFS, the Raptors are kind of an interesting conundrum because they are back to full strength, but we know Nurse likes to ride these starters. How do you approach this game?
Yeah, for me tonight, this game it just doesn't exist on the sheet. I'm not touching it. Betting wise, I'm not touching it in DFS. Full fade for me. Just not a game we need to really go to. Sure, you can make the argument for one Toronto piece, probably Siakam, maybe Fred VanVleet, but there's better options on the slate tonight. So for me, I eliminated this game, complete full fade for me, unless, of course, we get some late injury news. But I don't think we're going to. The only thing is like Jalen Suggs and Wendell Carter are out, but they've been out. And we saw a 12-man rotation last time out of the Magic. So that's not something that I want to target at all, especially against the Raptors.
My only advice for this game is if you do have it on, I mean, I wouldn't even have it on your TV, but you're checking the scores, right? And you see that the Magic are doing well. You talked about those 12-man rotations. Those are because they don't want to win.
Right.
We've seen that they did this against the Wizards. They came out great against the Wizards. And then the coach said, hey, maybe we really need to prioritize development a little more and get these guys that are playing well out of there. I think Orlando was a team that was really stung by not being in the top, top four last year. Both in the Thunder, expected that, didn't get there. They're going to try their darndest to make sure they get there tonight. So my only thing would say is, hey, if Orlando's doing good in the first half and you can get the Raptors at a discount, that might be the way to look because they're going to pack it in the fourth. And it's not going to be because the guys won't be playing hard. It's because they'll be playing, the last five guys on their bench. Another huge number for us to navigate, Tyler. The Indiana Pacers are plus 15 against the Boston Celtics, total 226. Pacers plus 1020 on the money line. If they were to win straight up, Tyler, that would be, half of the home run parlay already. But I don't think they have a chance. Are they going to cover 15? I even doubt that. If of the three games that we've talked about so far, I would probably be most comfortable laying it against this Pacers team that really seems to be packing it in here. I don't know. I have to get with AP. I know they only dressed 9 guys last time, and I'm seeing 4 Q tags that are going to be pretty pivotal in Isaiah Jackson, Malcolm Brogdon, Goga Batadze, who I talked mess about and had a great game in his last outing. And then, of course, O'Shea Brissett. Chris Duarte will be out for sure. Tyler, I'm not going to, but, if I were to play it, I'd lay the 15 with Boston here, man. I think the Pacers get blown out.
Yeah, I think Boston wins, but I think the 15's too many. I'm not laying it. I can see them winning by 12, get backdoored late. Mm-hmm. You look at some of these matchups, power forwards killing 28 points, 3 threes, 11 rebounds. Shooting guards, 25 points, 4 threes, 6 assists. And point guards average 10 assists for versus Indiana the last 30 days. I like Smart's double-double. He could get there in assists. He can get there in points. Tatum's double-double and win. Tatum 5+ threes and win. Jaylen Brown 25+ and win, like we the people said in the chat. I'd even go up to 30+ and win on him. And then the Tatum over 35.5 points plus rebounds. Because with still no Robert Williams out there, he should be able to feast on the boards. This is also a smaller team other than Miami when we tried to back this prop last game. He should have a lot more success rebounding in this game.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. AP, I know this is a wait for the news game, but I know that you guys also have your pivots planned. What do you think about what's going on here with the Pacers?
Yeah, I mean, these games are tough to bet when you're talking such a large spread. And this Pacers defense is one that, yeah, we'd love to attack. It's just blowout becomes a risk here, a major risk. I kind of like the Boston team total overs. If you just go and look at what teams are putting up on the Pacers right now, it's big numbers. So they're going to get little resistance as long as, like, my only concern would be, like, we're way over pace going into the fourth quarter, and then they're just up by so much that both teams just start playing sloppy basketball. That'd be my one concern, but that's probably the route I like with this game. Then, yeah, I'm not going to play Halliburton or Buddy Hield here. If one of those guys beat me, they beat me. I'm fine with that. And honestly, I'm not like most of these Pacers guys are priced up to a point to where they're not going to kill you, or it's going to take a lot to kill you. And I just think against Boston, like a very good defensive team, I'm not too concerned about it. So I like the Tatum call. I think in tournaments he's fine. He's one of those studs that you can pay up for. I just don't know if we're going to get too competitive of a game here. So I'm leaning to move off of this game as far as DFS goes.
All right. Yeah, but if all those guys are rolled out, right, or at least 3 of the 4.
Okay, good point. You could make the argument to play some of these guys, but I'm going to tell you, we got 2 or 3 other spots on the slate that are maybe going to be better where the teams only have 8 or 9 guys as well. So,
okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be, which matchup do we want to target? And I think this is a tough one out of those spots.
Oh, I think that's good information though. So because I think that just especially guys like me, right? We see 9 games out and we think that we need to have a piece of the game.
Yeah, so the Clippers only have 8 guys, I believe. I think the Thunder only have 8 guys. The Bucks will probably play like a 9-man rotation. The Grizzlies will be limited to a 9-man rotation. So we're going to have plenty of spots for you tonight, Spread. I promise you that.
All right. Let's talk about my favorite team, the Sacramento Kings. They're in Houston taking on the Rockets. And unfortunately for us Kings fans, they got the win against the Rockets when these 2 teams played on Wednesday night. Tyler and I both liked the money line there. They ended up pushing by the odds. It was a +3, and the Kings won 121 to 118. But what we did win on, Tyler, was the over, right? And we thought that we couldn't believe that number was 229, right? The market corrected. It's 235 today, right? I still like the over, but we lost that huge edge that we had there on Wednesday. And I'm going to steal your thunder here because I don't usually do props, right? But, I mean, Jalen Green has been going off, and no one on the Kings is going to defend him. And you kind of mentioned it last time, like, why would I, get involved in a side when I just have these killer props? Do you agree with me that we just go ahead and we play Jalen Green again to go over?
I was going to say yes when the number was dead even. It was like +102, -110 on the sides. They're going to give me +130 on him again, Spread. I might just have to fire on him again.
You have to.
They were in that game. They had a couple dumb plays at the end of the game that lost them that game against the Kings a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. They correct those. They could win this game by 10 right here. So I'm going to take a stab on him again.
So you're going back with the Rockets, you mean?
Yeah, I'm going to take a stab on him with the money line again. Like, the price went back to where I think it should be, so I'm going to take a stab on that. But, yeah, just like you said, the Jalen Green props are for sure. Davion Mitchell points plus assists at around 30.5. I love that play. And then you could do the KPJ props, too. So, definitely just a strictly props game. But at +130, a battle with 2 bad teams, I'll take the coin flip. Give me the Rockets.
I'll join you on that. I'm putting that in right now. AP, what do you think of the Rockets and the Kings?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. So that's 3 in a row on the Rockets side, +3. I like that. And then I also like the overs here. We're gonna get KPJ, Jalen Green just chucking. And then on the other side, you get, Trey Lyles, Davion Mitchell, these guys just chucking as well. Like, there's gonna be little defense played here. It's gonna be a good game to stack up. This, I will say, is going the stud and value route. This is the one game, though, that does worry me because stacks here could definitely, pay off. And, if you get a back and forth game environment like we saw, this could be one of the games that really hurts. I also think that with the price increases here on each side, I don't know, it's close. Like, we're never playing like a Harrison Barnes. Like Trey Lyles, though, he's $6K now. I still think he's a good play, but Damian Jones look good. Alex Len can get in there and get minutes. Chimezie Metu can get minutes. Like, there is risk in this rotation, and we've always had risk in the Rockets rotation. Especially if Sengun plays. If Sengun plays, you could get KJ Martin. You could get Bruno Fernando, who looked good last game. You could get a little Garbu or what's their Garu? Do you guys know that?
Garuba.
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 Yeah. I think he got the start last game. So this is one of those spots where I love the game environment. But I'll be fully transparent. I have it marked as an elite game. I like the overs too. But at the same time, I could see myself being under on it for fantasy, given like if Sengun's in, I think we could see a big rotation there. And then it wouldn't surprise me if we saw the Kings open up the rotation as well. So this is the one risky spot for me in DFS. It's very good on paper. It's going to get ownership. But I'm locked in on this. Like, give me a bunch of punt value. Give me Jokic. Give me Luka. Give me those type of plays, and I'll battle it out against the game stackers.
All right. Yeah. That's going to be fun to see how this one plays out. And hey, DraftKings and Daily Fantasy have done a great thing because they made a Kings Rockets game in April with two teams that have been eliminated for over 2 months to be one of the most interesting things going on this evening. So congratulations to that. I have to chide, though. I'm not happy about the NBA here. And I think this is the schedule's fault. So this should actually have been a fun game, right? The Clippers and the Bucks. This should have been a very fun game.
Right.
But they made the schedule and they saw, hey, Sixers on Tuesday, Nets on Thursday. Now you're going to go home and play the Clippers? Like, of course they're going to sit their guys.
Last night too, spread.
Yeah, of course they're going to sit these guys. I mean, I want to be mad. And when I was planning like a big rant, but it's like, logically, it makes sense that they would do it on both sides. Both teams are, obviously the Bucks are still fighting somewhat. Clippers are completely locked in their spot. So they're going to be
the ESPN game or something. Do you guys know? Is it like the ESPN game tonight?
I'll double check. I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I think the other one is the other one with a bunch of guys sitting.
Because the ESPN game usually starts at 4:30, my time 7:30. What is it, the ESPN game? My guess is it's a Pacers.
There is no ESPN. There's just NBA TV games tonight.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, the NBA TV game's the other game with everyone sitting.
Yeah. All right. So regardless, so this is a tough one for us to handicap. I guess the Clippers, we do have some numbers, but they're not just missing, PG, right? They're missing, let me pull this up here. Reggie Jackson's going to sit. Guys. Batum's going to sit. Marcus Morris is going to sit. Brandon Boston's going to sit. You'd think he must really be hurt because, you would think they'd want to get him some development. And on the other side, Middleton, Holiday, Lopez, and Antetokounmpo all out. So they only have one starter. I think this is tough to handicap. I got to throw the numbers out the window here. I guess give me the Clippers because their role players are pretty good, and I think they're a little deeper off the bench. But honestly, I'm throwing darts, and I haven't got involved in this one financially, except for I did grab when I thought everyone was going to play. I got the 8 last night, but that isn't doing any good for the purposes of the show. Tyler, what do you think of this one?
If you had to pin me down, give me Milwaukee, but I'm not betting this game. I mean, there's nobody on the floor for Milwaukee. It's basically Bobby Portis, Grayson Allen, and the bench guys. So I think they could beat the Clippers. Wouldn't surprise me to see the Clippers win. I'm going to stay away from this game with all the guys out.
What about this one from our guy, We the People? And yes, he already knew that I was going to complain about this. I was going to go longer with the people, but you guys already know. I don't even know I'm preaching to the choir, but you know the shtick of it. Nwora props, though. What do you think of Jordan Nwora tonight, Tyler?
Yeah, I don't hate it if the props are low enough. I'd have to see what the numbers come out at.
All right, AP, your thoughts on the game?
If went to overtime, these guys still all sit? If neither team went to overtime last night, do you think all these guys are still sitting? Because I don't.
I think on the Milwaukee side they are.
I don't think
so. I think they are. They're not. I mean, they can't. I mean, do they need a win? I guess I don't have the standings.
If they want the 1 seed, they need a win.
The Bucks kind of do, but they have all those 3 guys have sat with legitimate injuries in the past 2 weeks, so it makes sense that I don't know. Professional, I don't know. I don't see why they're trying to play on like 5 hours sleep all the time. But we've gone over that. You guys know what I think on that. Jordan Nwora, interesting option here, AP. And how do you approach this from a DFS perspective?
Yeah, so this is going to be one of those games. One, I like the Clippers here. Give me Terrence. Terrence Mann has looked so good in these spots. Same with Amir Coffey. Those dudes are going to play 38 minutes, 40 minutes. And Luke Kennard as well. He's just going to be chucking. So these are like the guys when I'm talking about like the one mid-tier guy that I do feel is a lock. So like when I think of build structure for DraftKings, if I could get 2 studs and then if I could have that mid-range piece be Terrence Mann, then the rest be these 3K pump values, as long as they're in a good game environment, I'm actually absolutely going to love a build like that. So I'm looking at Terrence Mann, Amir Coffey, Luke Kennard. The other thing too is like Zubac and Hartenstein have been playing well, but I think they're going to split minutes evenly. So I think I'm going to be in favor of there's a punt 3K or 3.1K centerpiece that we could go to instead. So for me, it's going to be very simply, I love those 3, Mann, Kennard, and Coffey. And then on the Bucks side, if Noir is starting, absolutely love him. He's 3K. another one of those value pieces. I think the guys I'm going to be off of, definitely never playing Wesley Matthews, never, ever playing George Hill. If George Hill beats me, and I hope he gets ownership, if this dude beats me, I'm like not tilted. I'm okay with it. Like George Hill is not it. I think, the guy to get more minutes is maybe a Javon Carter. Who knows? But I do think the rotation on the Bucs side could be a little bit riskier. Like I think Sandro might be. I think he's he's not in the G League, is he? Like this is the thing where like the Bucs could really open up their rotation more so than the Clippers, because I'm only showing 8 guys available for the Clippers.
What about that Lindell Wigginton guy they had before that did pretty good in these spots?
I show him. I show him as potentially active, but the problem is you got George Hill, Javon Carter, and then Lindell Wigginton. So I'd much rather side with, and then you got Grayson Allen as well. I'd much rather side with the Clippers side for DFS. And give me the Clippers side as well, 3.5. I like that.
Yeah, I think I like the Clippers too. Just Ty Lue seems to work magic in these spots, right? Tyler, I forgot to bring this up. What did you think of Wesley Matthews? AP bringing him up reminded me. Did you see that he was kind of in that PJ Tucker role last night? He was on Kevin Durant a lot, and then he actually hit a big 3 towards the end. He's doing that PJ Tucker role on offense. Can Wes Matthews step in and fill that PJ Tucker role for the Bucs?
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say no and him make me eat crow. So,
and I was surprised that it worked.
That's what I mean. Like, if you told me they sent him at him, I'd be like, KD scored 50. Yeah. And then you look at the box score, it's like, oh, go ahead, AP.
Who do you guys think is the best 3-and-D guy? Kind of like that. Like I think of like the Dorian Finney-Smith, Wesley Matthews. Would you put like Mikal Bridges in that category
he
too?
was one that I was going to say.
The best one ain't playing right now. He's hurt.
Who?
Who's
Johnson.
That? Cam Johnson. Okay, you like him over Mikal?
You like him more than Bridges?
I mean,
I think Finney-Smith is up there. Like
I think those guys, just Mikal Bridges, Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson. I'd say like you could order those 3, but I'd say those are the top 3.
What about Reggie Bullock in there too? A little bit. I mean, man,
he's still good, but he's like, you want to talk about 3-and-D? The dude doesn't shoot anything other than a 3. Like at least these other guys, like we can get Cam Johnson to score 25 because he takes some layups or something.
If the Mavs better hope they don't go cold from 3 in one of these series. That's going to be their only weak spot, I think. Like it's because then teams can just swarm on Luka, force the 3-point ball, and it would be tough.
They're saying Dort in the chat.
Yeah, Dort. He's not as good a shooter though. I think the Mavs though, that Dinwiddie acquisition gives them a little bit, right? So if they are cold from 3, like you said, right, they got 2 guys besides Luka that can get to the rim, right? Brunson and Dinwiddie, right? To try, and we know that's what happens when your shot goes cold. You got to get to the rim, you got to get to the fouls, get the free throw line. So that's why I love the addition of Dinwiddie. And it's so funny because I remember when it first came across the screen, I was just like, okay. And now I'm looking and I'm like, that was huge for Dallas. Like, I kind of thought it was just like a throwaway, a salary dump, but it turned out to be a really strong acquisition. So, congratulations to the Mavericks. And then of course, Jason Kidd, a guy that I was down on, he keeps making the right moves here, introducing these new players. So anything more on the Clippers Bucks, or you guys want to move on?
Nope, that's it for me.
Good to move.
All right, let's go. Tyler, all right, Tyler. Did you cap this game, Tyler? If you did, I give you credit. The Detroit Pistons are in Oklahoma City taking on the Thunder, plus 4.5 for the Thunder, total of 220, plus 165 for the Thunder. The Thunder, we talked about this before on the show. They were so good ATS, but they've completely waved the white flag. Anyone who's having any sort of good performance, magically finds their way to the trainer's room and is now on the injury report. So the Thunder are definitely all in on trying to get that draft position. Pistons, not so much. Seems like they want to build a little momentum here. So I can understand why they're favored. But I don't think I want to bet this game. Am I leaving value on the table? What do you think, Tyler?
I'm not going to say you're leaving value on the table, but if you had to pin me down to a side in this game, just give me Detroit. Yeah. I mean, just like you said, it seems like I said it last rundown. It seems like OKC's in that spot where they, just like when they rolled everyone out last year, they just went into this full tank mode. They started losing games by 30 plus every night.
Yeah.
They played Atlanta recently. Atlanta punched him in the mouth. I think Detroit does the same here. I think Cade just comes out and just gets whatever he wants. There should be nobody to guard him. His points plus assists are 30.5, and you look at his recent games, 27-6, 34-6, 18-7, 22-9. So, like, he's getting right there if he's not covering. So, but some of those games he's doing way over that number. So that's going to be my favorite look in this game. And some of the player performance doubles you could do. Like, Isaiah Stewart double and win. He's been shooting a ton of more threes. I don't see one on here for him, say, like 2+ threes. Mm-hmm. But I don't hate betting his 3 prop. And then even a Cade Cunningham 20+ points and win the other one I would do.
All right. And I agree with the chat here. We the people likes Cade double and win. Our guy Samurai likes Cade over 23.5. And I think that's the only thing they're playing for, right? They know the season's over, and I think Cade wanted to be in the Rookie of the Year, and I think he's kind of surprised that he's not, from a couple quotes that have been given from him. Now, does he deserve it? I don't know. I'm not too big into those awards, so I won't delve into that too much. But he definitely deserves to be up there, and I think he is going to make a push. So I like the way that you guys are choosing.
I would say, I know they're both tanking, but I would say Detroit's in a little bit of a different situation. Like, OKC has their guy in SGA, but I don't think they want to draft their own guy in the top 3 spot like you've been talking about, Spread.
Yeah.
Detroit has their guy. Now they have to get him like a co-pilot. Their record's bad enough. They're going to get a good pick. They want to build some winning culture. I think they pick up the win tonight on his back.
All right. What do you think,
also,
AP?
We seen just before he goes, Trae Young went to Oklahoma, played in OKC. We seen the stats he put up last game. Mm-hmm. Well, guess where Cade Cunningham went? Oklahoma State.
Good point.
So there you go. We might get another big game and return to his college state. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. What do you think, AP?
Yeah, our boy K. Philippe Burner in chat. Shout out to him. He had that good mention. I like that. And I mean, look, like if Brandon Williams can put up the numbers he did against this OKC team, mind you, that game went into overtime. I get it. Cade Cunningham is he's gonna put up a big number tonight. So like when I look at it, those Luka Jokic builds I was talking about really could turn into like a Cade Jokic and then one more mid-tier guy, maybe the Terrence Mann that I was talking about, and then hope that like Dinwiddie cuts into Luka's ceiling a little bit. I think that might be a better path because I think Cade, like he's just not projecting. Like all these sites have him under projected. Like I'm showing 45. Let me see even like what we have him at. I bet we even had him. We get 44. So no one, like you're not gonna at anything under 50. Even if you put him at 55, I don't think he's gonna hit many builds tonight. So he's gonna be very low owned. I think he could put up an absolute monster number. He's gonna play like he's been playing 30 to 37 minutes. Like he's gonna get the run. And they're out multiple key pieces here too. So I don't know. I think they let him run. I think he has a big game. I'm not worried about anyone on OKC side. I think Detroit gets the win. Cade has a big game. And maybe we get trolled by some of these guys, Braxton, Key, Isaiah. I don't know. Maybe we get trolled, but it just seems like a spot where they would unleash Cade. Let him do his thing. So I like that. I like that side of this game. And then, DFS wise too, the tough part is with the Thunder is all these guys are priced up. Like I said, Theo Maledon, almost 7K. Like we don't need to go there. Aaron Wiggins is 5K. We don't need to go there. I mean, Poku 7K. Like Poku hasn't even been beating us recently. Like I will admit, he's probably the guy with the most upside, but we're not worried about that. Roby, I already got my Roby game. So now I can retire. I don't need to play Roby again. He got me my game against Portland. That was a late when they ruled out that last guy. We shifted all our shares to Roby. And I had builds where I was leaving like 1,400 on the table. And it was a good move, though, to get him in there. He went absolutely bonkers. 55 DK points. I don't think he even missed a shot. It was crazy. So I just had to throw that out there because Nebraska's not relevant at all in basketball. Nebraska's terrible, like so bad. Like how bad is the Big Ten? Like I don't follow college basketball much at all, but the Big Ten sucked in the tournament.
Can't be much worse than what the SEC looked like.
And Nebraska couldn't win any games. And we had this recruit though that came this year. He could be a stud. he's just too small right now. But we'll see how he develops. But that team is terrible. Anyway, Roby, shout out, Nebraska boy, our only guy I think in the NBA besides Ty Lue, coaching the Clippers. So that's the only thing that makes the program
one of the best coaches in the NBA. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been really good.
Yeah. Let me grab a quick clarification here. And Robert wants to know, when did the Pistons win when favored? Robert, we're not betting on the Pistons. We're betting against the Thunder. Just want to make that clear. Okay. So that they could have put any other NBA team there. And that's what we're going there.
Hey, Spread, I just looked real quick. You can't play Luka, Cade, and Jokic. Leaves you 3.2. So it would be like that stud and duh, and play around with it if you're out there. Like pull up the heat map, put in Jokic, put in one other stud, and then play around with the value. I just feel so confident in that route tonight.
All right. Anything more on this one, Tyler, before we move on?
No, we can jump to the next one.
I'm surprised we haven't got that much time out of that game. So great job, fellas. The Phoenix Suns are in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. Plus 7.5 for the Grizzlies at home. Total 228.5. Plus 242 for the Grizz on the money line. Another one where these guys have decided to rest. Let me pull them all up. We have, they're doubtful, but this line says they're not playing. Desmond Bane, Tyus Jones, Jaren Jackson, Steven Adams all out. So, I think Memphis is punting on this game. Cam Johnson's probable. Your guy there, Tyler. You got to like that. JaVale McGee is probable as well. It's a tough one as well, man. We love Memphis, and they've been doing so well against the spread, but they're pretty much locked into that 2 seed, right? I think they're 8.5 games behind Phoenix, and they're like 6 games ahead of Dallas, who just assumed 3rd place, right? So they already know they're the 2 seed. All right, let them rest their guys. Can't really, complain about that. But it does make this game hard to handicap. What do you think, Tyler?
I'm just going to take the Suns with all the guys out on the other side. I mean, now these are the guys that are leading the team without John Morant. Now they're all out. I'm not going to trust DeAnthony Melton and these guys to beat me. Like, if they do, so be it. Like, Chris Paul and these guys are still going to be out here. They just they tied the franchise record with that game against the Warriors. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to break it right here and get this. So there's really not going to be a big man out there if Jackson and Adams sit. Maybe Tilly goes out there, but
Tilly's out too.
Not Tilly, Tillman. But I don't think he's going to be able to stop Ayton. So Ayton should have a big game. I'd play the Ayton double-double. I'd go back to the CP3 points plus assists, CP3 double-double and win, or the Booker 30+ and win. But for the most part, I'm going to be on Phoenix here, spread.
All right. And West Coast Gem wants to know, AP, what's the over-under on the ownership for Melton tonight? You put 75%.
Before he goes into that, I looked it up, AP. Nebraska got 2 NBA players.
Who's the
second?
They
got your boy Roby.
Yeah. The guy for Toronto.
Yeah, Banton, the point guard.
Banton, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good knowledge. Yeah. That's good knowledge.
Yeah, if we still had Banton, and then I'm forgetting the kid that came. He literally every week he was like rookie of the week in the Big 10, which maybe isn't that good of an honor, but he has some skills. He's just like,
hey, if you can win, Iowa's in the Big 10, aren't they?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if you go win it over a guy that's going to go top 5 in the draft and that Keegan Murray guy, I mean, you got to be pretty good.
College just is funny because it's like they did everything they could to get this kid to come here, like brought his brother here and stuff, and still didn't translate to winning. I mean, you need a good team. But that's why
There's that one kid that went to play at his dad's school, Patrick Baldwin.
Oh yeah.
He went to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I believe, is a smaller school instead of going to like a Duke. He's supposed to be picked top 5 in the preseason mock drafts. He's in the 20s now.
Wow.
You would think in his dad's system he would be like, here's 35 shots, go showcase yourself. But just not seeing any of that. Now they're
maybe his dad wants him on a winning team. He's like, we're not sending you to Sacramento or Detroit.
Yeah, he's like, you're gonna drop draft class.
Look at like Luka Garza. Like, didn't he kill it? And like he tore it up in college. And like,
him and guys like Drew Timmy, like they just can't move.
It's crazy.
I've seen him a couple times on Detroit rooting for him. He's okay on the offensive end, but you're right. He'll never get a spot on the floor. He's just too slow, even down low. But yeah, we were going to get into DeAnthony Melton and how you approach that situation.
Yeah.
You get different. Is he just chalk? You put him in?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. So a very good play. Like again though, a tough spot defensively. So these are the spots where it's like his price is in that spot to where like it will sound crazy, but at 5'2", I want like I for sure want 40 plus DK points out of him. Just when you look at the context of the slate and how many elite plays that we have. So I think if there's like a cheaper value that we can find that can get close to that, it might be fine to fade him. Like I don't think that he's like the lock of all locks. We've seen Jenkins, like even when they rest a lot of guys, we've seen him go deep into his bench and still run kind of a wide rotation. So we can see more Jarrett Culver. Like I wouldn't be surprised. John Conchar, he's been a guy in these spots that's had some big games. And then, a matchup against Chris Paul. The other thing too is like, and I got to look up these stats, but I swear he's been far more productive off the bench. So now I haven't looked this up. I need to go and do that. And it's going to be one of those things I do before kind of finalizing things tonight. But I want to go back and look at over the last 2 seasons to see what he's done when he started. And so NBA advanced stats, you can go and do that. I swear in these spots, it hasn't been that good. And what I could actually see is the ball being in a guy like Dylan Brooks' hands a little bit more. So I think he's going to be very popular. He's a very, very good play, but I don't think I think I'd rather play like Xavier Tillman because he's 3-1. He's going to get the start. They're going to need size. They're so limited in the paint. And at 3-1, it's a lot harder to kill me. I think 5'2", DeAnthony Melton has a greater chance of killing my lineup than a 3-1 Xavier Tillman. So I can't bet this game. It's just a really tough one to bet. I do think DFS-wise, though, it's going to be a good one to target on the Grizzlies side. But still, I don't love targeting the Suns. So I'm going to side with the cheapies here. Xavier Tillman, even almost like maybe a Brandon Clark off the bench. And then if you want to get different, John Concar. But I think that instead of going with him, you go with these Clippers guys. And that's going to be the path tonight.
All right. And if you want to find out how the rest of the Run Pure Sports team is approaching the DeAnthony Melton conundrum, make sure you become a member of runpuresports.com. Promo code GETBETS. The Portland Trailblazers, another big spread for us, Tyler. San Antonio Spurs are minus 15 at home, hosting the Trailblazers. 230.5 is our total. Another plus 1,000 money line. I mean, boy, just parlay the Blazers and the Pacers, right? And see what happens, right? But I think that this line is pretty close to right. The Blazers have definitely packed it in. We talked about the Thunder tanking. Blazers are doing the same exact thing. And I would think that the Spurs were going to do that. But I think that, just overall in San Antonio, they don't like the Lakers organization. And I think the allure of knocking the Lakers out of the playoffs has become too much for them. And they're making this final push. The line definitely reflects that at minus 15, however. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, huge line. I think San Antonio wins the game, but I'm not looking to lay that many points. You could do the DeJounte Murray performance doubles, double-doubles, triple-doubles, and win. But the prop I was looking at for his that I like the most, his points plus rebounds is 32.5 spread.
For Murray?
Yeah, just points plus rebounds. Look, listen to his recent games. 33 points, 13 rebounds. That's 46. 33 points, 7 rebounds. That's 40. 15 and 11. That one's short. 28 and 6, 19 and 6, 17 and 9, 26 and 9, 30 and 4, 27 and 9, 25 and 9, 26 and 10, 25 and 9. I'm taking that over 32.5 on his points plus rebounds all day against a smaller team that doesn't rebound well. Also with a bunch of scrubs out there that might shoot a bunch of shots that come off the rim. He could easily get double-digit rebounds here.
Are we worried that if this is a blowout, which is what I do think, he gets limited run?
I mean, if he gets you 25 points in that blowout before he gets pulled, 7 rebounds gets you their spread.
Yeah, that's good. A lot of times, these guys do get there, and it's not the DFS deal where we need them to just keep going. It doesn't matter how many points you go over. You go over 1, you still cash. You go over 15, you still cash. So, I mean, at the line of 15, they basically made this game to me. You either bet the props or you bet the total, but it's a tough side to get involved with. What do you think, AP?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. Like, I don't think I could the Blazers have just been absolutely terrible. Obviously, punting. We just saw these teams play. I don't know. I'm kind of off this game. Maybe a lean to the over. I mean, obviously the Spurs want to get it done, put up a big win. But then it's like, DFS wise, DeJounte Murray, he's a stud on this slate that has a ton of upside. But the only way he's paying off that price tag is if the Blazers keep this one close. And I just don't see that happening. And then on the Blazers side, even with Watford out, they still have more dudes now that they can roll in there. So I think this game is far riskier. It's one I'm going to be off of, and I probably won't have too much exposure in the DFS streets.
They're asking about Podol in the chat. What do you think? And Drew Eubanks.
I can't believe that price.
Yeah. For me, look, like, sure, I think it's fine, but okay, so let's just say Podol gets you 40. Let's just say he gets you 40, okay? Let's say Xavier Tillman gets you 30. Mm-hmm. And then let's say, but what Xavier Tillman also gets you is Nikola Jokic. I mean, it's an opportunity cost game. For me, I'm going to go aside if I'm going double center, which Jokic is already locked in. So that means I only have one other center spot left. Do I really want to go with Pirtle or do I want to go and lock in Xavier Tillman, who's 3-1? I mean, if you go back and look over the past 2 or 3 days, these centers that are like min priced have just been crushing. Well, when you get them right and pair them with the right stud, they've been absolutely crushing. I know Big T and the gang, we were on Bruno. Big T was on Bruno Fernando, and he crushed off the bench at like no ownership. So give me Xavier Tillman, give me one of these pump plays over a guy like Pirtle.
All right. Great breakdown there. This is probably my favorite game of the night. The Minnesota Timberwolves are playing the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets -3 at home. Total of 242.5. Always got to love those high totals. Plus 128 for the Timberwolves on the money line. And lo and behold, in an oasis of meaningless games, we have finally found a game where both teams need the game, want the game, and will be giving their best effort, right? We get, not necessarily a playoff atmosphere, but definitely, full throttle from both teams here. Nuggets, winners of their last 3. Timberwolves have lost 4 of their last 5. But before you downgrade them too far, it's all been against really good teams, like the Suns, the Mavericks, the Raptors, right? They're not out here losing to the Kings or the Pistons here. So I'm a little hesitant to downgrade them too much for that. This line, in Denver, it says these teams are even, and I agree with that. And then I think what this game comes down to is, do you think that Towns can keep pace on the offensive end with Jokic? Because if you do, his supporting cast is so much stronger. You get Anthony Edwards, who you guys know that I'm a big fan of, D'Angelo Russell, who's definitely had his best year as a professional this year, and the rest of the supporting cast of the Minnesota Timberwolves is of a high caliber. The way that they don't win or they don't cover this game is because Jokic completely outplays Towns. I think Towns is going to be up for it tonight. I think he keeps it close and allows his guys to go ahead and bring it home. I like the Timberwolves +3. Tyler, what do you think of my breakdown?
I mean, I was really hoping you were on the other side so I could shit on Jokic a little bit. But I mean,
yeah, I had to put you a crossover there for you, Tyler.
Looking at Minnesota's recent schedule, like, this is their easiest game in a few weeks. Milwaukee, Dallas, Phoenix, back to Dallas, to Boston, Toronto. I hear all defensive strong unit teams. Denver's not that.
Right.
So I think Cat's going to not have his way with Jokic, but he should put up a nice number. Jared Vanderbilt plays great defense, so I don't see Aaron Gordon giving Jokic much help. And if these guards or these wings for Minnesota start to pop off, there's nobody to stop them. So I like Minnesota at the dog price. I think they win this game. Looking at some of these player performance doubles too, I see we can get Cat 26 plus points and win at +280. Cat's double and win is +320. And Edwards 22 plus points and wins +310. Or you could do Patrick Beverly 12 plus points and Minnesota wins +350. I wouldn't really venture into the Jared Vanderbilt ones because he usually gets around like 8 to 9 rebounds. He never clears that 10. And the dude never scores, so we're not betting 10 plus points on him. Or you can go to D'Angelo Russell, 4 plus 3s or 22 plus points. That'd be the way I approach this one.
All right, glad to see we're on the same side. I thought might be one that we'd be opposite, but it doesn't look like that. Our guy, the Samurai, wants to know, what do you think of Aaron Gordon over 6.5 rebounds tonight?
No, I mean I wouldn't bet it just because I think Vanderbilt's going to kind of give him troubles, and you're going to have Jokic and Towns down there eating up the boards too. So I'd stay away from that one.
All right, so he's staying away. Hey, and here at Run Pure Sports, we're all for staying in shape, getting that physical activity in. So we love these victory laps. Our guy Steven's late, but in the chat yesterday, he was big on Detroit basketball on that money line. So go ahead, give him the victory. Great call there, Steven. So AP, Timberwolves, we both like them. What do you think?
Yeah, so I'm kind of torn here. I kind of like Denver at home, but you guys make good points. I mean, if you just look at like the Pacers game, the one that the Nuggets just played, when Jokic is off the court, it's an absolute disaster. This is a game they need. They need to win. The Wolves obviously playing pretty well, and they have a guy I think spread. I liked your breakdown quite a bit, but I think the difference maker in this game is not Karl Anthony Towns, but Anthony Edwards. I think he needs to have a big game on the wing. I think he's the best tournament play on the board here. And I think you pair him with Jokic. So as we work through this slate, I'm slightly moving off of like a Luka Jokic build. It's Jokic, run it back with Edwards, and try to get maybe Cade in there with all that value that we talked about, maybe a route to go, or we move off Cade if that doesn't work in favor of a mini game stack with Ant Edwards. I just think Ant Edwards, like, man, it looks like he's starting to come back online. Like, you're starting to see the aggressiveness. You also have Malik Beasley out, Jaden McDaniels out as well. Just a few, like, because before they had a big rotation. I think you're going to see a tighter rotation here in Denver. I think you're going to see a lot of points and a lot of scoring, and I think you're going to need a big night out of Jokic. The one thing about Jokic, too, 370 DK point games in a row. But here's the thing. Like, there are a lot of good center plays tonight. So he's going to go lower owned than what he should, because DFS right now is driven by optimizers, driven by projections. And I think the optimizers and projections are going to want to fit a lot of these other centers in too. So you're going to have people that wanting a little bit of this guy, a little bit of that guy. I want to lock in Jokic and be the flag plant tonight. He's going to be on all my builds. I just can't see how he doesn't get it done here. He needs to. If he doesn't, it's like the Wolves blew him out, or somehow they blew out the Wolves, which I don't see happening. So I think Jokic, best overall play on the slate. I think Anthony Edwards as a run back, best tournament play on the slate.
All right. I love that breakdown there, because I don't think that's someone that a lot of other people or sites are targeting there in Anthony Edwards. And he's a guy, if you get him, that lower ownership could really be the difference in getting to the top of the standings. Anything more on this one, Tyler? Are you ready to move on?
No, we jumped that last game.
All right. Let's
okay.
go.
Well, one last thing, because I just want to give Tyler a shout out here. Why we should like Ant Edwards too is look at who they played. Just like Tyler said, Dallas, Phoenix, Dallas, Boston, Toronto. Everyone looks at box scores. No one's actually like looking at it much deeper than that. Now he gets one of the best matchups on paper. So yeah, Ant Edwards, definitely a phenomenal play tonight.
Yeah, let's hope that he bounces back tonight, because that's my favorite play here. Let's go to the Jonathan Nelson Memorial Classic tonight. The New Orleans Pelicans in Los Angeles taking on the Lakers. We know there's so much between these two teams, with Anthony Davis being a Pelican, Brandon Ingram being a Laker. They definitely, with the last time when they were in LA and Ingram was putting it on him, he was enjoying that. He was loving that. He gets an opportunity to do that tonight. But could be the return of Anthony Davis. I don't know if it's been still questionable here on my thing. Let me refresh, see if we've got any news. But my guess is they're going to keep him questionable, but I think that he plays. So I expect AD to play. I expect LeBron to play, even after he gave one of the most terrible April Fool's jokes, I think, in the history of social media. So
And so many people fell for it.
We're not going to go into that. I still can't. I stopped doing April Fools when I was like 15.
Yeah. LeBron sucks. You can't be doing April Fool jokes at this age. Come on, man.
So good at basketball and so bad at everything else. All right, yeah. So game of the night for Jonathan Nelson. We're excited for you, Tyler. I think that if AD is back in there, it gives a boost to the whole team, right? I think everybody plays harder. He leads on defense. He can lead them there. We've been fading the Lakers. I'm a little afraid to do it tonight, but hey, I can always be talked into betting against the Lakers. What do you think I should do here, Tyler?
There's a comment in the chat spread by our guy Perfect Rotation that is my breakdown of this game. Right there. No chance I'm betting on this team. I want it to be a 30 at half.
That's a
They
good comment.
AD might play the game. He might sprain his big toe 3 minutes in, and then he's done for another month. For the most part, I'm not going to bet this game just because if I bet New Orleans and LA comes out and they look like they're back to normal and they just roll them, I'll be irritated. If I bet on the Lakers wanting them to roll them and then they just fall apart halfway through the game, I'd be irritated. So I'm going to save myself some late night stress and just not bet this game.
All right. AP, what do you think? Is there value in this game? Because at least it's one where, everyone on the floor is going to be playing hard. It's a close spread. It's kind of what we like here as handicappers.
No, I'm not playing this game. I mean, I'm just, sure, LeBron. I could see LeBron getting up, AD back. I think that helps LeBron. He's having the time of his life right now. He could have a big game for sure. I'm going to be off of it though. When 10:30 rolls around, I'm going to be sipping on some whiskey, enjoying being at the top of the leaderboards, and hoping that we don't get like triple overtime here or something crazy happening. So I'll be off this game. CJ McCollum, I could see him, playing out. Ingram. But if everyone here is healthy, I just think there's better game environments tonight. So I'm not betting it. I'm not playing in DFS. I will be watching it, though, for sure.
All right. And let me just get your thoughts on this. I think Giannis moved ahead of LeBron for the scoring title this season. Would that give you any more incentive? I mean, you've already said you're off it, but just in general, as we're going, do you think that he's kind of hunting for the scoring title? Because that's kind of what I'm getting, right? Right now at this point, he's looking for the accolades. Yeah. He's not going to be able to add to that ring count unless something absolutely wild happens. And we'll give him his credit if he does that, but probably maybe looking at other things, right, to put on his resume next to Jordan. And those scoring titles is something where he's lacking. Do you think that, because it seems to me like he's just chasing stats right now. Would you agree 100%. With that assessment, AP? And does that make you more likely to put him in your lineup? Like Mangone loves when you chuck.
Yeah, no, I get that, but with AD back, it's just tougher to do. I mean, we've seen it when these guys are all out there. It's just a lot of cooks, in the kitchen. Like it's just tough for them to produce, especially when we have better plays. Like I know I want Jokic. You could probably fit LeBron. There's probably enough to do that, but you're gonna have to fade plays. A lot of these other elite plays that we talked about. So I'm gonna be off of it, and I feel pretty good about that tonight.
All right. Well, I do want to make a core and I do want to give out some best bets. But before that, AP, we have to ask you the question that's been making the way on the NBA rundown this week. And that is, you're a GM. You're building a franchise. Who would you rather build around? Ja Morant or Devin Booker?
Ja Morant.
Oh, he joined us. You see that, Tyler? We got the late surge in the Ja Morant. Everyone liked Booker. Everyone.
Are we assuming like – no, are we assuming like injury risk is the same, or it's just
no? Everything stays the same right now, like how the guys are.
Yeah, I would say Ja.
All right, yeah, we had a lot of Bookers here.
Who do you think's the better player?
Better all around basketball. Well, when you listen to those podcasts of just the players talking about other players, all these, I think it's what's his name? Shooter played with Chris Paul.
Jamal Crawford.
JJ.
No. JJ Redick's podcast. Yeah. They all love Ja Morant. Says basketball IQ is just up there, like at the highest levels. So I'd say Ja.
All right. Well, thank you for weighing in there. I was listening, so I went ahead. I'm going to start us off with the core. How about some Luke Kennard action here at small forward, only 3,800? Would you approve of that?
Yeah, we'll definitely approve of that.
All right, Tyler, I gave you plenty of money. Do you want to throw a player out there, and then we'll let AP finish it up?
Just plug in Jokic because I was already building our parlay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We talked about it all day. That's
all right. Anthony Edwards, Jokic, and then we're going with Terrence Mann. So that's the route tonight.
Okay, that's going to be a lot of fun. So there you go. There is a core for you to start. But remember, to get the cores not just made on the NBA Rundown, but by the professionals, head on over to runpuresports.com. Use that promo code GETBETS. And there is a man in the chat who knows what time it is. Gregory Russo, will I be able to get revenge on him tonight? He had the best bets last night. I'm trying to get them tonight, but we're starting with you, Tyler. What's your best bet for today's side total or prop?
Mine's going to be that DeJounte Murray over 32.5 points plus rebounds. And also the Chris Paul over 24.5 points plus assists.
All right. So you like DeJounte Murray and Chris Paul. AP, best bet today, side total or prop?
Yeah, I'm going to go total. I'm going to go Boston's team total. I think it's a 121.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just teams are printing against them. Don't feel confident in the side. So give me Boston team total overs.
All right, and I'm going to go back to our guy, Anthony Edwards. Give me the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like you said, I think they are undervalued because of that juggernaut that they ran recently. But, boy, it's going to feel like they're playing NBA 2K, and they moved it down from, like, all-star to rookie going against that Nuggets defense. So, even though Denver does play well at home, this is a great chance for Minnesota to bounce back. And I definitely, if I'm getting involved tonight, I want to be involved in a game where I know that both teams will be giving 100% effort. And I think we've definitely found that game there. So, Tyler, do you have the parlay built yet, or do you want me to go to AP real quick?
No, I got it. It's going to be 19-1.
Okay.
Chris Paul double Phoenix wins.
Okay.
We're going to go Dinwiddie revenge. Spencer Dinwiddie 15+ points and Dallas wins.
Okay.
And Pascal Siakam 25+ points. Toronto beats Orlando. Gets you 19-1.
All right, I like that. And of course, for people who aren't able to watch the show, maybe you're, doing something at lunchtime. Remember, Run Pure Bets members always get Tyler's parlays in the Discord. AP, you want to let everybody know the content we're producing this weekend at Run Pure Sports?
Yeah, we got a big week coming up. First off, we got MLB coming up. We got the Masters coming up. Tons and tons of content around that. We'll all be dropping through the weekend and all next week. We'll have NBA covering up until the NBA season's over and through the playoffs. So, but again, sign up though, because our shows are going to transition, I believe, to being behind the paywall for the playoffs, because the free show is going to be based around baseball. So we'll be all standard cores, playbook, heat map, all of that all through the playoffs. So it's going to be a ton of fun.
All right, and I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm definitely gonna try my hand at some baseball this year. I've always said it's the purest fantasy sport, right? Because about 4 or 5 at bats, right? We're not measuring usage, so let's see who does the best. So definitely looking forward to that. Appreciate you having us on there. And Tyler, I was looking ahead. We got Monday off, buddy. There's no NBA games on Monday, so I just realized that today. I said, oh, well, we're not going to do it. So we will be back Tuesday with Travis Mangone. We'll be going over all the revenge that is to be had in the National Basketball Association. Once again, thanks to the chat for joining us. You guys make the show so much more fun. Remember, like the video, share it with your friends, and run pure.